project, and I've worked on this, and yeah, I just feel like it's really, truly inspirational. There's so much wisdom and connections we can learn about plants and flowers and crystals. So just let me introduce you to Nikki Strange, who is the illustrator, who's created all these gorgeous illustrations, and Katie Jane Wright, who is crystal expert.
I don't know if I like that title. Just crystal lady is good.
Crystal lady, who has drawn out these connections between the magics of plants and flowers and crystals and the magic beneath our feet. So I'll hand over for a round of applause.
Alchemy Oracle Deck!
So, hello everyone, thank you for coming, thank you for taking the time out to spend this little bit of expansion with us, this connection with crystals and the plants. So, me and Nikki, this is our second deck together. The first one was all animals, and I work with crystals, and it just felt like there are so many crystal decks out there that you can buy, but they're all just photographs of crystals, which is nothing wrong with that, because it's good to tune in through a crystal, because you can, through a photograph, because you can tune into energy through photographs. You don't need the actual crystal with you sometimes. So we wanted to do something, come together again and do something more playful, whimsical, to help you connect to the earth and all of the kingdoms underneath, so the plants and mineral realms. So this is kind of where this deck came forward. There was just an overwhelming need to help people still themselves and quiet themselves, and we can do that by just being still on the earth and listening. That's all we need to do. And when you're still and you listen hard enough and you're patient, you will hear things. You will hear whispers in the wind. You'll feel the heartbeat of the earth beneath your feet. So that is where we're coming from. We wanted to create that moment of stillness, and also, if you don't work with crystals, you don't have to know how to work with crystals, because this deck is really useful and it helps you and gives you practical information on how to work with these crystals in a meditation kind of sense. There's lots of meditations in there. Anything you want to say, because I've run out of steam now?
Katie connected with me probably, was it before the pandemic? I hate to bring that up, but it's an important part of this deck, because a lot of it was created during that time, and there was a lot of darkness, and I wasn't feeling great. You know, you're not around your peers as much, and it's very isolating, and you feel like you've got no control, and there's a lot of catastrophising, a lot of going into mainstream media and just feeling completely paralysed and feeling there's no light. And so we wanted to bring in the light, basically. And I think the lady in front said that the deck is very vivid and very colourful, and that was kind of a real intent, to have something very playful and something, I don't know, like something that the younger generations can use as well. Like, we've got quite a few mothers that use the deck as well.
Love this deck.
And it was meant to be inclusive like that, really.
Yeah, it was. And the way we cover a lot in this deck, we've got plants, crystals, there's also a few animals you'll see pop in because we felt that they were important. We had one of my favourite cards, which I have to show you, is this one here, which actually Nikki's got a print of over here. It's not actually up. It's a bigger image so you can see.
Oh, yeah.
So this is Green Adventurine, and it's actually, we've got some Green Adventurine here to pass around in a moment. And for me, it's to help you connect with the pixie realm. They're so joyful and playful and fun, and it's like that fun element that Nikki said, that we want you to almost go into your inner child mode, because we all need to do a lot of inner child healing, let's face it, that's just part of our journey. So that really helps your inner child, that sense of freedom and creativeness and expressiveness. So if you're new to crystals, I have some crystals here, and I thought, because we're a lovely small number, we can, if you like, now these are my crystals, so I would say please put them back after we finish, but I would love, I'm not going to tell you what they are, I would like you to intuitively pick one, and you don't have to overthink it. All you need to do is look at the basket, and whichever one wants to jump in your hand, that's the energy that you need, and I can tell you what that means. So, well, we'll try to do it. So if you take one and pass that along, whichever one you feel, I don't know, maybe it's the colour jumps out to you, or the shape of it. I work with a lot of crystal healing is part of what I do, as well as sound and writing, and a lot of what I do is with people is I don't tell them about the crystal. I like you to have your own experience with it first, and for you to pick, and for me not to tell you what it does, because you've got to learn to listen to your own intuition. You don't go to a healer for them to tell you everything that's wrong with you. Yes, it does help you connect the pieces, but at the end of the day, you need to do the work yourself. So what this is about is trusting your instincts, the crystal tells me what you need or what you need to focus on. Just by what you've chosen, I'm going to ask you all in a minute to hold up what you've chosen, and I can tell you what that means. And what it means, the energies that want to work with you at the moment. And by the way, all of these crystals in this basket are in this deck as well, just so you know. So they've all got, I can show you the cards connected to them.
One thing I really like that you put at the beginning of the guidebook was that you don't have to have the crystal as well, and I think that's really inclusive because you were talking a lot about the ethical sort of chain product, you know, where their mind and things, and then they can affect a lot of people, like affordability, if you want to really know where your crystals are sourced. So it gives you that opportunity for some crystals that you just wouldn't ever be able to own for affordability, that you can actually tune into the energy, and the cards are so vivid that hopefully you can tap in, and all the wisdom in the guidebook, and also you can use your own intuitive nature with the cards as well. I think that's what's so playful about this deck. You can take your own, what you need from it as well.
Yeah.
How often do you use it? Not too often.
It's, I would say, from experience and people working with it, and personal experience working with it, I often find that just one card is enough to pull a day.
For a day,
until
yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
I've listened to that message and done what I need to do to support it. Sometimes you might sit there and think, well, actually I need to pull 3. And I need to do, there's layouts and spreads that you can do in here that give you a bit of guidance about how, maybe ideas about what to ask and what guidance to ask for. But I would say it's a quite potent deck. There's a lot of rare minerals in here to tune in with, that I always say maybe just one card a day. And that's what I do with my son. He just picks one card in the morning, and we work with that. Maybe it's the colour on the card. Because what I love about these cards is that it's not just about the crystal, it's about the colours tell a story. So this is all pink, so this is all higher hearts healing. So you don't just read what it says here on the card, read through the colours. You've got the elemental symbols here. So you might find on your 3-card spread, or some people like to pull about 10 of them, whatever floats their boat. But you'll find that a symbol keeps coming up, an elemental symbol, and that's the message. Look at what that symbol means. It says in the book it could be air, earth, water. Maybe I need more water in my life. And water is a feminine element that teaches us to soften, surrender, go with the flow. And it could be, that's the message. So there's so many multi-layered messages. So have you all got crystals? Yeah. Which ones, hold them up for me and wave them, which have we got? So we've got a lot of, so the blue shard, you two over there have got that one. That's blue kyanite, the test and that you've got there. This one here, can I have the basket? I can show you which one.
This is a new one.
Oh, sorry. Oh, that's a very old one from Morocco. So this one here that everyone's got, this is called Septaria. It's a really masculine electric energy. And this, if you pick this up, this means that you really need to think about working on your lower chakras, and the colours always relate to your chakra centres, so black and brown, connecting to your Earth Star chakra, which is under your feet in the earth, which is the brown chakra centre. So you want to kind of put this at your feet or work with it, but you've formed a connection because you've already picked it up. So this is about change, moving forward, shifting forward a gear. It shakes things up when this comes into your life. Moving forward. So,
We can't go back.
not right now.
Anyway.
Well, moving forward, but at a faster pace, to get things kind of flowing a bit more for you. It's about change, fast-paced change, and it finding you. So trusting that. So Septaria, this is from Morocco, and they form in little nodules. They're amazing. They're real, like I said, very masculine energy. Very, very masculine. So if you're picking a masculine stone like this, you need to work on that side of you. That balance with your face. No, they're going to change it. It wasn't the one for me.
Because I'm very water and everything, and I know maybe why not is the balance.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
why not?
Absolutely.
It's true, we always do that.
Yeah,
Especially in summer.
absolutely, yeah.
And
Yeah.
so anyone pick this little one here? This is garnets. Oh, yeah, we've got garnets. Garnets. I don't know if you've heard of that one. I threw this in at the end as a wild card. We've got a little illustration of this. Garnet is a stone for women. It's stone connected to the womb. Yeah, exactly. It's beautiful for sexual healing and also reclaiming your sexual energy back from wherever it's gone, from men, from relationships.
We've got it in the deck there.
It's a card in the deck, and it came in, and it's actually, the title of it was actually Womb Cave. Kundalini energy and sacred sexuality. So it's really empowerment stone. It wants to bring a gentle fire to your sacral, to your womb space. So it's a reclaiming, restoring, nourishing, grounding, protecting stone.
I like the facets on it.
And it forms naturally like that.
Does it?
Yeah, it's just really cool. I mean, you can have overly faceted ones that are super shiny that they polish, but these are all.
I thought garnet was more red.
When they polish it and cut it, yes, it has that beautiful bright glow.
This polish is red.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, really deep.
Yeah, in the card we've got it more of a shined one.
Yeah, and then I don't think anyone picked this brown one, did you? No.
Which
Stromatolite. Did you? Stromatolite. It has these. So this is one of the first stones. It basically it takes you back to the origins of Earth, origins of our planet, because it's made of. I'm going to get the name wrong, but they're the first types of bacteria that could photosynthesize. They have a special name. So it's basically created fossilized kind of remains of that bacteria trapped in sandstone. So this is millions and millions and millions of years old.
What do you
so
call
old. It's called stromatolite. Stromatolite is really amazing for grounding, for pulling. If you're an airy person like me who's up there all the time, it pulls you back down into your body and seats you comfortably in your body, and it tells you that its mantra is, or the mantra I use with it is, my body is a safe space. So that's what stromatolite is about, coming home to yourself, feeling safe in your body, grounding. Yeah. So that's stromatolite. And then any green energy anywhere? Anyone pick any green? Look, and you're sitting by each other. That always happens. You're drawn to the people with the same kind of energy that you're working with. What did you pick? Which green was? Mossagate, which is the sky. Mossagate wanted to come today. Mossagate grounds heart energies and takes you into the earth fully, so you can connect with the inner earth divas. It's basically the totem of this whole deck. It's all about connecting with inner earth planes.
How do you spell that?
Green now.
Moss agate.
Moss agate.
Yeah, it's a type of agate, yeah. So it's got a lot of water in it. So where the pale is, this is all the water content where it's white. So it's white and green. It looks like this.
In your
Oh, it was very dark green. You couldn't hardly tell. It had just a few
Too
things.
light, it's not so good.
So that's moss agate.
Well done for bringing this. It's heavy.
And then the last one was blue kyanite. Anyone else have blue kyanite? Tess. So blue kyanite is about restoring your voice and bringing power back to your voice, your confidence. It's in the deck. We've got an amazing card, and it's shaped
Really
as a
powerful
sword.
sword, yeah.
So we call it Sword of Truth. And if you follow the angels, it's Archangel Michael energy with his sword of courage and will and the blue ray energy. Good.
It's always huge.
And it normally grows in very large, these are small pieces.
What do you call that again?
Kyanite, blue kyanite. Kyanite.
Spelled like this.
Kyanite. Oh my god.
So you are focusing your energies on clearing your throat at the moment.
That makes a lot
And
of
bringing
sense.
truth. It's all about truth as well.
We're getting my books
truth.
published, you know. That's the voice, so there you go.
Absolutely. So it's definitely, if you're
Spot
drawn
on.
towards it, it's an energy that you need to have around you.
Lovely.
And then we had, I just wanted to show you Septaria nodule cards. So that was somebody who picked up Septaria. I think you picked up, there you go, that's the card. The stone
I
you
thought it was
bought.
the one.
It's all about, so when we created it, so when we create the deck, the crystals tell me, like I don't pick the crystals for the deck, they tell me. And they also tell which plants they want to be paired with. So on the cards you'll find a crystal and a plant together, because crystals and plants like to work together. They're from the same realm, so they just have this natural, that their energies just vibrate and harmonise together. So when this one came through, Septaria, it showed me, so it gives us the vision of how the card wants to be. So with this one, it was just cells in the body, a DNA, and that was the vision that we said, and I messaged Nikki, and we have an audio when I was living in America at the time, and you were in the UK, and I was like, we need cells all around the Septaria, and then you create the cells, and that's what it is. So each one of these cards, the information for the visuals has been informed from the crystal or the plant. They're very specific guidelines of what needs to be on there. So that's kind of where the
So we get So I've got some of my boards here. You can see Katie's like really loose drawings that she sent me, and that's how the cards start off. So I'm showing some of the drawings of yours. This is how it starts off, and I thought it was kind of important just to show it, like rough around. You know, that's of a WhatsApp picture. Pass them around. You can have a look if you want.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Let's go. This is citrine and dandelion.
So what was
Yeah, I'll
really
pass them around if you want. You can have a look. This is just a bit of a breakdown of where we get the inspiration. So this was when I was actually away on a trip, and I happened to be near Loads of Ladies' Mantle, and I was painting it, and it felt really serendipitous. So I had a really nice. I don't normally paint like that, unfortunately. I wish I was just next to all the plants. But Katie will send me a picture of what she's kind of downloaded in communication with the plants and crystals, and then she will kind of give me an indication of the structure, the layout, and then the colours. And then because I'm very colour focused and not structure and composition focused, it works really well. So Katie's always really clear on like how exactly it's going to lay out, and then she like cans it over to me to kind of play around with colours. This is my favourite. It's magic mushrooms. very psychedelic card. Yeah, the fungi network communication card. Yeah. Have you watched Fantastic Fungi, the documentary? Yes, it was very inspired by that. That was such good visuals on that.
But what's nice to say about the fungi is that, so how to work with the energy of this card, for example. So when you pick, there's a card in here, there's a few tree cards. So with the tree cards in the deck,
yeah, sorry, I should have
Did you say it was amber?
Amber, yes.
what I just love about Nikki is that, and I love working with her because she does everything by hand. And
Yes.
nowadays, with oracle cards and tarot decks, there's a lot of computerised images. And what I love is, and there's nothing wrong with that, they're beautiful in their own right, but you can literally buy a collage program and anyone could, I don't mean to sound disrespectful at all, but
We're mixing together the hand with the
Nikki
computer.
hand paints everything, and with doing that you actually feel the energy,
Yeah.
and the movement energy in the cards.
Yeah, so what I often do, and this is a really nice way of working, is that I will paint everything separately. So that's kind of why I was showing the cards, to sort of show you how it comes together. And then I will go in Photoshop. So that's where the digital aspect comes in. So I'll scan it in and then play around with the composition. And that is really helpful because obviously if Katie Jane has any like feedback of like that shouldn't be placed there, or that looks weird, or that I can move it around in Photoshop. Whereas if I painted everything as one, like like on a canvas, and it was all uniform, it's really hard to move the artwork after. And then in that way you can't really change the composition. So it means that we get a bit of a back and forth, doesn't it? You can be like, move that bird, like essentially. Move this, and you can change colours in that way as well, which is really helpful.
It looks like a lotus, isn't it?
Yes, that one is a lotus, yeah.
Because it's jade. Someone mentioned jade earlier, I think it was your friend mentioned jade, didn't you? That card's jade, and jade really connects with Punyan, so that female kind of Buddha energy, that kind of Eastern energy, and she's always seen on a pink lotus, or with lotuses, so that's why we have the pink lotus on the
More
card.
dirty water, or they can nourish, and you see
Every
the
night.
complementarity of the dirty and the white and the black and the black.
Oh,
It's
yes.
not opals, but to put it together, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
color, I mean, I just saying.
No, that,
The
yeah.
marriage of decoration.
They come out as models.
It's like
Yeah.
we can't be there. It's important. We can't go there unless you go there first.
Yeah, exactly. But we've made it like really beautiful in that kind of tranquil energy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
was the
there's that
rest card.
process, yeah.
Are there any questions or anything that we can answer? We've been asking questions.
We could maybe like pass a deck and then you could ask questions about certain cards or something. Would that be fortunate?
I don't know. It's okay.
Usually.
I feel like the main things that we really wanted to tell you about was, for us, this is a joyful deck to help you quiet your senses and go into the earth. And actually, there are ways of what's the word I'm looking for? Ways that you can connect with the energy of this deck through the book that we talk about, which is just really simple. Like when you connect with a crystal, as when you connect with a plant, you have to first ground yourself. You have to take some breaths and be in your heart. Being in your heart centre is so important. We connect with stones and plants through our senses, so our eyes, just connecting with our eyes. Obviously with the plant and flower you can smell, and when you take that scent in, it activates your pineal gland, and it does something wonderful in your brain and reminds you of past memories and nostalgic things and all sorts. It's very powerful. So that's why obviously we have the flowers in this deck, because you can work with flower essences if there's one that you see and it comes up. Well, the way I've been working with so each card as we've made it, I've had the crystal with me, and I just sit and talk to it for a week, and then I just write down everything it says. And then if it's a plant, I will drink the tea. So I'll have the tea. So for example, there's on the garnet card, there's lady's mantle, and I make lady's mantle tea, and that's really good for the room actually. Goes alongside garnet really nicely, lady's mantle. So we've been drinking as we've been writing this, and we've been working with the crystals. So it's been a 3-year journey writing this. It started before lockdown.
Yeah, I think it did, didn't it? Yeah, I was trying to place it, but it's all been a blur. But it feels really fitting it's being released in the spring. Well, it was released in the spring in April 12th.
Yeah.
You know, for this kind of regenerational energy that I think we all need to tap into to be more connected to the world around us. And I think that's one thing I really love about the deck as well, is I pull a card every morning after, sometimes before I journal to help lead it, or the other way around. And then I find when I go to work, I walk along like the canal, sort of the Walthamstow, near the marshes, and it just makes me much more aware of what's around me, because I've already kind of grounded into the energy, the messages, and then I'm looking for like synchronicities on my walk. So I just think they're really playful, opening up of the heart, and yeah, just so light-filled, and there's a lot of joy in them that I think we all kind of need at the moment. So hopefully you can see that in the text and the imagery as well.
Can you read, for instance, open a card and then you read what is the page?
Thank you, that's a really good idea. And we have one here actually. I would like to read you Turquoise and Forget-Me-Nots. And Turquoise is a crystal that's been around. It's a very, very ancient stone used by the ancient Egyptians, the Native Americans. Everyone used this for protection as a talisman. So Turquoise came in with Forget-Me-Not. Forget-Me-Nots are everywhere at the moment. They made me laugh because they're the first flower that said no to me when I tried to pick it. You must always ask for permission when you take anything from nature. And I was at the Chalice Gardens in Glastonbury, and there was a beautiful patch of Forget-Me-Nots, and it was chatting away to me. So I went over and I went, "Can I pick you please?" And it was very direct, "No." I was like, okay. And that made me step back and question myself. I was like, I felt wrong, and then I said why, and then what then happened was a 10 minutes, I felt like I was being told off, 10 minutes discussion on ownership and how, what makes me think I could pick that and own this flower and I can just tune in and look at it. And I was like, that's really lovely, but I was really scolded by this Forget-Me-Not. So this is the information from on this card. It's only small, but we'll hold it up. So turquoise is a stone of the ancestors. It's a gracious grandfather energy dedicated to the earth. A big part of its mission here is to reconnect you fully to the earth. And its energy comes through with commitment to serving you, with an unwavering loyalty. Its energy is very clear, straight to the point, and it's focused. There's that word focused coming up again. Perhaps one of the oldest stones in history, its longevity shows its unwavering strength. It passes on the feeling that you can weather any storm, and if you can stay balanced in your heart and mind. Call the energy of your ancestors close with this card. They have a story to tell. It's also a stone of unification, wishing to help you bring completion by unifying energies, beliefs, patterns within you. Turquoise unites earth and sky, male and feminine energies, bringing the elements with you together in harmony. And it's known as the stone of male power in many circles, due to its grandfather vibration, holding the energies of the sun and the sacred fire, courage, strength, action and leadership. The divine masculine energy to continue to rise on this earth, we have to tend to the feminine within you, and vice versa. So for so long there have been uneven balances, and nature is working hard to put this right. It's time to look at the qualities you sway towards the most. Do you identify more with your masculine or feminine side? What do you need? Which do you need to feed more? And how can you feed and acknowledge this side of you? So now Forget-Me-Not. So at times, Forget-Me-Not's energy comes in as a young child. For this card, she came through as a mother, holding her child close and talking to her gently. I am reminded of a legend that surrounds her. As a child, Jesus was sat on Mother Mary's lap, wishing that future generations could see her eyes. He touched them and then waved his hand over the ground, and blue Forget-Me-Nots appeared. This is why one of its names is Blue Eyes of Mary. Forget-Me-Not speaks, unfold into me, weary souls. Show me all of you. Show me your cracks, your many layers. If you hide, I hide. If you open, I open. Let me in, for I will be your tender heart companion. Persistence is my virtue. I will keep gently knocking on your heart's door. My focus is in supporting you, the point of expanding, ascending and descending energy spirals through your body. I will notice when you come to the point of realization, and my medicine will come to you fully at that moment to transform and rebirth, to hold you. My consciousness transcends many spiritual planes of awareness, bringing oversight. I can feel the flow of energies through the earth, attuning to them and enhancing them. Like turquoise, I bring balance through transformation and unity, the balance of heaven and earth within you, the connection and marriage of your higher self and soul essence. We all have to go through a process of grief in any transformation. Oh, this is making me emotional.
Oh,
Sorry.
it's very detailed as well.
But
Very
it's
detailed.
all right, it's
Very
big.
good. Yeah.
We all have to go through this process. Oh my God. Of grief in any transformation. I will lift you up, helping you to get, could you finish it please? Helping you not to get too lost in grieving. Oh no, I feel I have to finish, sorry.
Yeah, I think so.
Helping you not to get too lost in grieving what you have let go of. And to come to the, sorry, I always do this, it's okay. And I shouldn't say sorry, but it's okay to cry. I'll help you come to the realization that love transcends all and that we can endure in and through love. That's it. I think that's a good ending. Oh gosh, do you know what? In my workshops, I do a lot of crystal workshops, and I always find that after I reflect on the crystal we talked about, and often it's the crystal that I actually need, I want to kind of work with. I think that's the way with healing. You kind of get drawn to what you need. So Forget-Me-Not wanted to speak for you and to me today, obviously. So that's kind of insight and the kind of guidance in the book. We hear from the crystal and the flower for guidance. But yeah, that's what I mean. One card sometimes is enough. And have a good cry. And move on. But I feel like that's everything that we can kind of offer. Unless there's anything else you want to ask about crystals or the cards.
Process, I think we covered most.
Yeah.
Do you do readings like online with using this deck, or do you read your own deck?
That's a really good idea and a good point. We are on Instagram, and we do need to do some more videos. I know you're on Facebook, aren't you, Nikki? Do you do?
Yes,
Oh,
please.
Yeah. we need to do that. Thank you for that reminder. Yes, we need to do that. We have videos on how to use them and cards of the day and just guidance on spreads. Yeah, we will be doing that. And I think Watkins have a blog as well, and we'll be posting a few blogs on that about how to work with the cards. I know, yeah, very good point.
And I think I'll probably be doing some videos in the coming weeks of how I made the cards, the designs. There'll be some. I did video quite a lot at the time, and I need to become techie and put them into reels and things on social media. But there'll be lots of kind of breakdowns.
Open the book and show a feel of the book.
Yeah, you want to look at this book?
Yeah, you can pass that down.
There you go.
You can tell that so much work went into this. You can really tell. It's just
Thank
and
you.
the time that went into it.
Yeah, a lot of it was last year, and it was an intense year last year. So I feel like it's when you got upset, then I felt quite emotional about the deck as well, because the paintings I did when I was like, not in the best place and things, and they really lifted me. To do something that I knew would help people in the future. That was a really important part of the process, and a bit of healing for me. What I needed was a project like this. So it does feel really nice to be releasing it out today.
It was really magical how it came together, because actually one of the cards in the deck is the Empress tree, and this was the first card that we created. And actually I lived in Washington DC 2 years ago now, and there was an Empress tree there. I'd never heard of it before, the Empress tree, and it was cut down. There was no tree, it had been cut right back, and I just walked past it and it had loads of life in it. I could see these golden shoots of life, I could feel the energy, and it called me over and I sat with it and it talked to me, and then the card came about. But that was over 3 years ago.
Yeah, that was.
And I always knew we hadn't kind of connected with Watkins then, but I knew that this was supposed to be in the world, this deck. I was like, it's going to happen, I'm going to start writing it because it's going to happen. And that was the journey, and then luckily Watkins loved it and supported us and were amazing, so and it's in the world. But it's been a long journey for both of us, moving through all sorts of things and clearing. So we hope you like it. It's been an absolute joy to make, to create with Nikki, definitely.
Yeah, as you said earlier, it's our second deck. So we've done another one, which is Animal Wisdom. So this definitely feels like a really natural progression, and it's really fun to work on.
Thank you for coming. Oh my gosh, we really appreciate it.
If you have any questions, you're welcome to.